I hope you enjoyed that story, guys. So, we just read all about the planets and our new book that we were going into about our solar system and about space. So what Miss Bowden wants to do is I want to start out with our very first planet. And our very first planet is Mercury. Very good. Our first planet is Mercury, which is the closest planet to the sun. Now, it's part of our inner planets. We call Mercury an inner planet because it is inside that asteroid belt. So we have 4 planets that are really close to the sun, and then there's this big ring of asteroids that float around, and that's called the asteroid belt. And that separates those planets that are inside of it, close to the sun, and then those planets that are outside of it, farther away from the sun. And those inner planets that are inside that asteroid belt, they are all called the terrestrial planets. I believe that's what they're called. And it just means that they are made of lots of rock and hard material. And then those outer planets are those gas giants, which are made of nothing but lots of gas. So the first planet we're going to talk about is Mercury. Mercury's nickname is the morning star. Whoops, sorry. Mercury's nickname is the morning star. Okay, it is our first in line of our planets. Mercury is made up of a lot of rock. It kind of resembles the moon. Mercury is very, very hot during the daytime because it is the closest to the sun. But Mercury is not our hottest planet, and we're going to learn what the hottest planet is tomorrow. But just like our moon gets really hot in the daytime and really cold at night, Mercury also gets really hot during the daytime and it gets super cold at night. And that's because there's no atmosphere trapping in that heat to keep it there. More similarities of Mercury to our moon. Pretty interesting. So it says right here, the surface looks very much like our moon. It's covered with deep craters. And Mercury's sky is black. If you look up at our sky, what color is our sky? Our sky is blue. Exactly. But if you look up at Mercury, if you were at Mercury's on that planet, sorry guys, I'm having technical difficulties with our video today. If you look up at the sky today, outside on Earth, our sky is blue. But if we were on Mercury and we looked up at the sky, it would be black because there is no atmosphere keeping things in. So we would just see that darkness of space. It would kind of look like there was night almost all the time there. So that's a cool little card that Miss Bowden has about a few facts on Mercury. I'm going to give you guys the card, but I'm going to wait till we learn all 4 planets and give you guys the little mini versions of them so you can keep and print them out. But let's go ahead and talk about some facts about Mercury. Mercury's tiny. So if it's tinier than Earth, do you think it's going to have more gravity or less gravity? Yeah, it's going to have less gravity than Earth, which means you're going to weigh less on Mercury and you're not going to just walk normal. You might walk with a little bounce, kind of like they did on the moon that we watched. Very good. Do you think there's water on the surface of Mercury? No. Think about this. If Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, why might there not be any water on Mercury? The sun dries it all up. Exactly. The sun is so hot and Mercury doesn't have an atmosphere and it gets super hot during that daytime that if there were ever to be any water on Earth, it would evaporate immediately and dry it up. So Mercury kind of looks like the moon where it's full of dust and rock and craters and there's absolutely no water there except it's super duper hot in the daytime and really cold at nighttime. Now, Mercury is our smallest planet in our solar system. It used to be Pluto, but now Pluto is considered a dwarf planet, so we don't consider it part of our 9 planets anymore. We only have 8 that we talk about. But out of those 8, Mercury is our first planet in line, and it is our tiniest planet. Okay, we talked about how rocky it was. Let's talk about how long it takes Mercury to go around the sun. Okay, so we know it takes Earth 24 hours to go around its axis one time, which causes one day, right? Okay, it takes Mercury 59 Earth days to go around its axis one time. So if we count 59 days, that makes one entire day on Mercury, which was those 1,400 hours. It was crazy how slow it turns. So Mercury turns super, super slow to make one day. One day is like 59 days here. A really long day. But then guess what? You know how Earth goes around the sun? And when Earth goes around the sun, it goes around 365 days, one entire year around the sun. Guess how long 1 year is on Mercury to go around the sun? Because it's so close to the sun, it only takes 88 days to go around the sun. Yeah, so it almost takes as long to go around to make one day as it does to go around the whole sun. So by the time Mercury has made one day and turned on its own, it's almost completed one entire year. That's crazy to think. It moves super slow to make one day, but it moves really fast to make 1 year. So crazy. Okay, let's see what else we have. Mercury, one of our only planets that has 0 moons on it. It's too small to have a moon. If Mercury would have a moon, the moon might be actually bigger than Mercury, and it might have more gravity, so it might fall into line and just start orbiting the Earth. I mean, not the Earth, the sun. It might start orbiting the sun. And then that sun might even pull that moon closer and closer in, and then there goes that moon. Mercury just doesn't have enough gravity to hold a moon into play to orbit around it. So Mercury is that tiny and that small of gravity that it just doesn't have a moon for it, which it really makes sense. And let's see. Mercury has been visited by 2 spacecrafts. They just call them in our book we read the rovers. So Mercury has been visited by 2 spacecrafts, 2 rovers. And those rovers were the Mariner 10 and the Messenger. And they took really cool pictures of Mercury. Here are some real photos of what Mercury looks like. What does it look similar to? Our moon, exactly. It's gray and rocky and has lots of craters. I would think I would be looking close at our moon right now, but we're not. This is what our planet Mercury looks like. One big ball of rock that is super hot in the day and super cold at night. Pretty cool learning about Mercury, right? Yeah, so Mercury is not the hottest planet. It is the smallest though. It has no moon. It has no atmosphere. There is no water on Mercury at all because it's way too hot and way too close to the sun to have water on it. It's very similar to our moon. It's made up of rock and dust and has lots of craters on it. And it comes off as a gray color. I hope you enjoyed learning about Mercury today. Tomorrow, we're going to learn about Venus. It's going to be exciting learning about all of our inner planets. See you guys later.